Fight here one day?
One day I would love the opportunity to fight here. I think it'll be amazing. Everyone that he's fought and everyone that he's beaten, and I want to test myself against that. You know, the best.
The world owes Joseph Parker. Yeah. The whole heavyweight division owes Joseph Parker, so I'll just say that straight away now.
He gets his arm raised and he sails off into the sunset.
I think if this guy wins, he's literally done it all. He'll be.
Yeah. Would you want Joseph Parker's name on your ledger though?
I mean, maybe.
It's the last one.
I believe that business-wise, if I was Usyk, that's the path I'd go. I'd go Parker. I'd go Dubois. That's how I'd look at it. And I'm quite sure everybody else, the promoters have got another.
Joseph Parker has turned up the heat, sending shockwaves across social media with a fiery Instagram live aimed directly at Oleksandr Usyk. His message wasn't polite or measured. It was bold, aggressive, and overflowing with ambition. Parker didn't just call out the Ukrainian maestro. He demanded a fight, filling the live stream.
Lock that in. Let's lock that in. Let's get a contract locked in, right?
Who would be your preference?
My preference would be Usyk.
Usyk, why?
Because what he's been able to do and achieve in his career, cruiserweight and heavyweight, and then he's beaten everyone put in front of him. I want to test myself against the best in the world.
Stream with heated threats and warnings, but here's the brutal truth. Call-outs on Instagram don't win championships. Against a fighter like Usyk, it takes far more than bluster. It takes composure, discipline, and the ability to withstand a storm of skill and strategy that very few boxers in history have been able to survive. The drama didn't end.
Behavior first. Fair enough. Yeah, it's a lot big about sports. It's like street fight, yeah. If my men who support me, yeah, I kill you. Boom, boom. Listen, for me, I don't care. I don't.
With Parker's rant, reports quickly surfaced that the Instagram Live wasn't just a one-sided tirade. According to fans who tuned in, it became a clash of personalities. Parker raged with full-throttle aggression, spitting warnings with raw emotion.
To see if that's going to make a difference against Oleksandr Usyk. I do think he's in the fight. I do think it's a dangerous fight, but
while Usyk, calm and collected, dismissed the outburst like playground noise. His sharp, concise responses carried the same icy composure that has unnerved opponent after opponent throughout his career. The contrast could not have been starker. Parker's fire versus Usyk's ice. One fighter fueled by anger and hunger, the other by calculation and control. Tony Bellew.
Joseph Parker is struggling from inactivity at the moment because he's been so used to fighting back to back to back.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
not his own fault by any means.
No, it's not a disturbance in the Bacoli fight that he was all going ahead, and you know, Bacoli jumps in. Sorry, you know, all of the disturbance of the Dubois fight. It's just he's in a rock and a hard place, Joseph Parker, because he knows the shot's coming, but he also wants.
Who once shared the ring with Usyk, cut through all the hype with a grounded assessment. He acknowledged Parker's passion and persistence, but reminded fans that Usyk has been here before. The Ukrainian has faced bigger punchers, louder trash talkers, and more decorated champions, and every single time he has responded the same way with.
I'm quite sure he kept an eye on the potential outcome of the Parker v Dubois fight, and so I'm quite sure he'd have thought it could have been one of you two, because who else is there? You've got to remember this: whoever Usyk's boxed once, he beats them better the second time around, and because he's downloaded the blueprint, he's never boxed Joseph Parker. He's boxed Oleksandr Usyk. He knows how to do
skill, class, and complete dominance once the bell rings. Bellew made it clear that Parker's challenge doesn't look any different. Adding to Parker's uphill battle is his recent inconsistency. While he's rediscovered flashes of his old form, his stop-start career has robbed him of rhythm. In boxing, ring rust speaks louder than words. Usyk, meanwhile, has remained razor-sharp, consistently active at the highest level, and thriving against elite opposition. When one fighter is in rhythm and the other is still searching for momentum, the gulf between them only grows wider. Johnny Nelson underscored another massive hurdle for Parker: Usyk's unrivaled boxing intelligence. Usyk doesn't just beat opponents, he dissects them. He studies their habits, breaks them down mentally and physically, and adapts in real time. His victories don't...
Who's going to beat him? You know, who is that guy? I think the guy that deserves a shot next, by the way, is Joseph Parker. He's the guy that's been waiting, and I think the WBO have mandated that fight. So unless Oleksandr Usyk vacates the belt, he will have to fight Joseph Parker next. That'll be an interesting fight. That's probably his...
Come from brute force, but from angles, footwork, and an unrelenting tempo that grows more suffocating with every round. Facing Usyk, Nelson explained, is like stepping into quicksand. The longer you stay in, the deeper you sink. Instagram threats may fire up fans, but they don't disrupt ring IQ. Still, not everyone is dismissive of Parker's chances. Spencer Oliver believes the New Zealander deserves this opportunity, and has even gone so far as to suggest he could be Usyk's toughest challenge to date. It's a bold claim, arguably more confident than Parker's own fiery declarations. Yes, Parker is the WBO mandatory challenger, which guarantees him a title shot, but paperwork isn't proof of superiority. Usyk's resume speaks volumes, unifying the cruiserweight division, defeating champions in their own backyards, and
did the business. Parker's done everything he needs to do now to warrant a shot at Usyk. But would you even give Joseph Parker a chance at Usyk? It'd be an interesting fight. Quite fast hands, high work rate. But let's not forget who Parker's lost to already. I mean, lost to Dillian Whyte a few years ago, and he's since been beaten a few times by people that really couldn't lace Usyk boots. And I'm not having a go at Joseph Parker. And I do think that if anybody deserves a fight, he does. He deserves the fight, he deserves the payday. But is anybody realistically giving Joseph Parker a chance?
Conquering heavyweight elites like Anthony Joshua. Parker's record, by comparison, carries notable defeats to Joshua and Dillian Whyte, opponents Usyk has already surpassed. Aggression on Instagram might paint Parker as a hungry contender, but hunger alone doesn't dethrone a master technician. Carl Froch was far more blunt. While he acknowledges that Parker has earned a massive payday with this fight, Froch warned fans not to confuse financial reward with genuine danger. Parker's fast hands and solid work rate are useful, but he has already fallen short against fighters who wouldn't last a single round with Usyk. Froch's damning question cut to the core: does anyone truly believe Parker can win? Outside of blind loyalty, the answer is a resounding no. Duke McKenzie echoed that sentiment with surgical precision. Boxing, he said, is about levels, and Usyk operates on a level Parker has never
Still don't feel that even that performance is not enough to beat Oleksandr Usyk, because boxing's all about levels. And Usyk isn't the kind of, as I said before, Usyk's not on the slide. He's not, and he would, you know, once you set out your game plan and you get your tactics and ABCD right, as Usyk has done, that's why he's unbeaten and a two division unified 4-belt era champion. That's what separates.
Even touched. That's why all the social media theatrics feel almost laughable. Parker can bark, threaten, and demand his shot, but fights are won with flawless strategy and execution, not bravado. Usyk has spent years perfecting his craft through relentless discipline, cementing himself as a two-division unified champion and one of the most intelligent fighters of his generation. Parker, by contrast, has struggled even against opponents far beneath Usyk's pedigree. McKenzie's verdict is simple: Usyk is still at his peak, showing no signs of slowing down, and he isn't about to give Parker a realistic opening. Andy Lee, Parker's coach, offers a different perspective. While he fully respects Usyk's incredible skill set, Lee argues that skipping Parker could raise questions about Usyk's willingness to face every top contender. Still, even he admits
not difficult. Like, no one can doubt Usyk's credibility or his reputation because of the fights he's had and what he's done in those fights. But if he opts to fight Dubois and vacate his title, someone who he's already beaten pretty comfortably, and decides not to fight Joseph, but doesn't look too good for him. That's all I would say. It doesn't look too good for him from the fans' point of view and from a fighter's point of view. I'm sure he'll want to defend his belts, and I'm sure he'll want to fight Joe.
That if the fight happens, Usyk will likely silence any doubts and silence Parker's challenge once they step into the ring. Andy Lee, Joseph Parker's coach, admits that while Oleksandr Usyk's credibility is beyond question, skipping Parker could create doubts about Usyk's willingness to face every top contender. Still, even Lee concedes that if the fight happens, Usyk will likely silence those doubts inside the ring. Lee points to Parker's recent improvements, claiming his fighter has smoothed out the gaps in his style and learned to maintain intensity throughout a fight. But this optimism carries a fatal flaw. Usyk doesn't simply wait for mistakes, he creates them. His unique style forces opponents into errors, drains their energy, and punishes them the instant they fall.
Sure, whether people like it or not, it's still a massive, massive draw. Currently probably the biggest draw in the heavyweight division still, considering Tyson's retired. Would that...
Against Usyk, small adjustments aren't enough. The gap between the two isn't about pacing or rest periods, it's about class. ring IQ, and total control. In every one of those areas, the Ukrainian holds the clear advantage. Johnny Nelson offers another layer of caution, warning that the timing may not be right for Parker at all. Usyk is in his absolute prime, possibly just a fight or two away from securing his place among the all-time greats. Nelson suggests that sometimes the smartest move is to step aside rather than rush into a storm that could end a career rather than define it. Parker's Instagram warnings may show hunger, but hunger and wisdom are two very different tools in boxing. Nelson reminds us that some fights make a fighter while others break them. Against Usyk, Parker risks becoming just another name on an unbeaten record rather than a legitimate challenger. Even Anthony Joshua, who shares a history with
start to finish. Oh, he's just seen Hamza Sheeran.
That's the main man. What are you talking about?
The main man.
That's the main man.
with Parker offered a mixed perspective. AJ fully supports Parker's right to a title shot but admits the brutal truth: being good isn't enough. You have to be great. Parker has been good enough to earn his place at the table, but Usyk isn't a simple door you knock on, he's a fortress, one that very few fighters have managed to breach. Having faced Usyk himself, Joshua knows exactly how relentless and disciplined he can be. His backing for Parker feels more like encouragement for a fellow fighter than a true prediction of victory. This is where hype collides with reality. Parker can demand, threaten, and rally support online. His peers can offer words of encouragement, but none of that matters when the bell rings. Against Usyk, being good won't cut it. Even greatness often isn't enough. The build-up has
advised AJ to have some of that. You just won.
Well, he's cashing out of AJ fake Paul, isn't it?
It's already reached boiling point. Parker's fiery Instagram tirades clashing with Usyk's calm, calculated dismissals. It's a perfect reflection of their potential fight, chaos versus composure. If Usyk wins, he solidifies his legacy as one of the finest technicians of his era, proving that class and discipline always silence the noise. But if Parker shocks the world, it would be the upset of the decade, transforming him from a nearly man into a true heavyweight king and shaking the entire division to its core. The stakes couldn't be higher. Pride, legacy, and credibility are all on the line. Usyk represents icy composure. Parker embodies fiery ambition. So the question remains, will Usyk cement his greatness once again, or will Parker pull off the impossible and rewrite heavyweight history?